Every morning sets the tone for your entire day. What if just 4 words could change your focus, your energy, and your results? These words are simple, yet their impact is life-changing. Imagine waking up with clarity, courage, and calm before the world even begins to pull at you. Imagine stepping into your day fully prepared, focused, and unstoppable. The secret isn't complicated. It's about inviting guidance, strengthening your mind, and shaping your heart before anything else happens. These 4 words are the key to unlocking your potential quietly but powerfully. Today, you'll discover how speaking these words every morning can transform your mindset, your choices, and your life, one day at a time. Don't underestimate the power of starting right. When you wake up each morning, your mind is still quiet. That is the most powerful moment of your day. Before stress enters, before messages appear, before fear speaks, in that still space, 4 simple words can shape your entire day. Holy Spirit, guide me. This short morning prayer is not emotional hype. It is a daily spiritual discipline. Many believers search for clarity, direction, and peace, yet they forget that guidance begins with surrender. When you say these words with intention, you invite wisdom into your decisions. Life moves fast. Responsibilities pull you in different directions. Family needs attention. Work demands performance. The world competes for your focus. But when you start with a Holy Spirit morning prayer, your priorities align. You think clearer. You respond calmer. You choose better. This daily devotion builds inner stability. It strengthens your faith without dramatic effort. Consistency creates growth. These 4 words also protect your mindset. Negative thoughts can grow quickly in the morning. Doubt can form before breakfast. Anxiety can shape your expectations. But when you begin with Holy Spirit, guide me, you redirect your thinking. You allow divine wisdom to influence your emotions. That shift changes how you speak, how you plan, and how you treat others. Spiritual growth is not complicated. It is practiced daily. 1 sentence repeated every morning becomes a foundation. Over time, your confidence increases. Your reactions improve. Your discernment sharpens. This is how breakthrough begins. Not in noise, not in pressure, but in quiet surrender at the start of each day. Every morning offers a reset. Yesterday's mistakes do not control today's choices. When you open your eyes, you have a fresh opportunity to connect with God's presence. Saying, Holy Spirit, lead my steps creates alignment before movement. It invites direction before action. Many people rush into the day without reflection. That leads to confusion and regret, but intentional prayer produces clarity. Faith is not only about big church moments. It is about daily consistency. A short morning prayer builds spiritual strength like exercise builds muscle. You may not see change immediately, but small habits produce powerful results. When you consistently ask for guidance, your decisions improve. Your relationships stabilize. Your confidence grows. Guidance is not always loud. Sometimes it is a gentle thought. Sometimes it is restraint. Sometimes it is peace when making a choice. By speaking these 4 words each morning, you train your heart to recognize that guidance. You become more aware. You pause before reacting. You choose wisdom over impulse. Christian motivation does not begin with hype. It begins with discipline. This practice shapes your character. It builds patience. It increases awareness. And slowly your life reflects steady growth. 1 simple sentence, repeated daily, produces lasting change. Many believers ask why they feel distant from God. The truth is often simple. They do not pause long enough to connect. Morning prayer is powerful because it happens before distraction. When you say, Holy Spirit, strengthen me, you acknowledge dependence. You admit you cannot handle everything alone. That humility opens space for growth. Strength is not only physical, it is emotional, it is mental, it is spiritual stability. Challenges will come during the day. Pressure will rise. Conversations will test you. But when you begin with a request for strength, You prepare your inner world. You are less reactive, more grounded, more controlled. This daily devotion also builds endurance. Faith grows through repetition. You may not feel dramatic emotion. That is normal. Growth is often quiet. What matters is consistency. When you repeat these words every morning, your confidence increases slowly but surely. Spiritual maturity is measured by stability, not by volume, not by excitement, but by calm strength during pressure. A simple 4-word prayer builds that strength day after day. It becomes your anchor. Peace is one of the greatest needs in modern life. News spreads fear. Social media spreads comparison. Work spreads stress. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, fill me," you are asking for inner peace. You are choosing calm over chaos. That decision shapes your entire emotional direction. Many people try to manage anxiety with distractions, but peace begins internally. A short morning prayer shifts your focus from external noise to internal grounding. It reminds you that you are not alone. That awareness reduces fear. It creates stability. Daily spiritual practice is like mental training. The more you practice, the stronger your calm becomes. When conflict appears, you respond instead of explode. When pressure increases, you remain steady. This is not weakness. It is strength under control. Saying these words every morning builds emotional resilience. Over time, others will notice the difference. You will handle situations better, speak wiser, decide clearer. Peace is not accidental. It is cultivated. Many people want breakthrough. They want opportunity. They want success. But few prepare internally. When you begin your morning with Holy Spirit, teach me, you position yourself to grow. You become open to correction, open to wisdom, open to learning. Growth requires humility. You must admit you do not know everything. When you invite divine instruction each morning, you increase awareness. You notice mistakes faster. You adjust quicker. That produces improvement. Daily devotion builds long-term transformation, not instant perfection. Every morning becomes a training session for your mind and heart. You develop discernment. You improve communication. You increase patience. Over time, this simple habit shapes your identity. You become more thoughtful, more steady, more intentional. 4 words, spoken daily, quietly build a stronger life foundation. When you wake up each morning, you are stepping into unknown moments. You do not know what calls will come. You do not know what challenges will appear. That is why saying, "Holy Spirit, direct my path," brings stability before uncertainty. It shifts your mindset from fear to trust. This short morning prayer aligns your heart before decisions begin. Direction is not about controlling everything. It is about moving with clarity instead of confusion. Many people waste energy second-guessing themselves. They replay conversations. They doubt their choices. But when you ask for guidance at the start of the day, you reduce that mental noise. You build confidence through daily devotion. You become intentional instead of reactive. This is how spiritual discipline strengthens emotional health. Direction often shows up as small impressions. A pause before speaking. A thought to wait. A sense to move forward. When you invite guidance early, you recognize these signals faster. You develop sharper awareness. That awareness protects you from unnecessary mistakes. Consistency creates transformation. One prayer repeated each morning forms a strong inner compass. Over time, your life reflects wiser decisions and calmer responses. Guidance becomes natural. Clarity becomes normal. It all begins with 4 simple words spoken before the world gets loud. When you say, "Holy Spirit, renew my mind," you are choosing mental clarity over distraction. Your thoughts shape your day. Negative thinking can control your attitude before you even leave your room. But renewal resets your perspective. It replaces doubt with confidence. It replaces fear with focus. A morning prayer builds that renewal daily. The mind absorbs what it hears first. If your first input is news or social media, your emotions follow that direction. But when your first input is intentional prayer, your thoughts align with peace and purpose. This daily spiritual habit strengthens discipline. It improves concentration. It sharpens awareness. Mental renewal also affects your speech. When your thinking improves, your words improve. You communicate with patience. You avoid unnecessary conflict. You make decisions from clarity instead of impulse. This is practical faith in action. Over time, this small habit rewires your mindset. Your reactions change. Your expectations improve. Your confidence increases. Renewal is not dramatic. It is steady, and it begins each morning with intentional words. Saying, "Holy Spirit, help me," is not weakness. It is wisdom. Life carries responsibilities that feel heavy. Pressure builds quickly, but asking for help builds strength. It removes pride. It creates openness. A short morning prayer reminds you that you do not carry everything alone. Help often comes through insight. Sometimes it comes through patience. Sometimes it appears as unexpected support. When you begin your day with this request, you become more receptive. You notice opportunities faster. You respond to problems with calm thinking. Daily devotion builds humility. It teaches you to seek guidance before acting. That habit protects relationships. It prevents careless words. It strengthens leadership. True strength includes the courage to ask for assistance. Over time, your dependence builds stability. You feel less overwhelmed. You approach challenges with confidence. You grow steadily. 4 words spoken sincerely can change the tone of your entire day. Each morning is an opportunity to grow in character. When you say, "Holy Spirit, shape my heart," you are inviting personal development. Character matters more than temporary success. Integrity builds long-term influence. This simple prayer shifts your focus from external results to internal growth. Character shapes reactions. It influences decisions. It determines how you treat others. By beginning with this request, you become more aware of your attitude. You catch pride quickly. You correct impatience faster. You choose kindness intentionally. Spiritual growth is not abstract. It shows in daily behavior. It appears in conversations. It appears in how you handle stress. Morning prayer strengthens these areas gradually. It refines your perspective. Over time, shaping your heart daily produces lasting maturity. People trust you more. Your words carry weight. Your actions reflect stability. True growth begins quietly each morning. Confidence is built, not wished for. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, give me courage," you prepare for bold action. Fear limits potential. Doubt blocks progress. But courage opens doors. This daily prayer builds inner strength before challenges arrive. Courage does not mean absence of fear. It means moving forward wisely. When you ask for courage, you strengthen resilience. You prepare to face difficult conversations. You prepare to make strong decisions. This mindset improves leadership and personal growth. Daily spiritual practice builds emotional stability. You learn to manage pressure calmly. You respond instead of retreat. You speak with clarity instead of hesitation. Courage grows through repetition. Over time, boldness becomes part of your identity. You take healthy risks. You pursue purpose with confidence. All because you chose to begin your day with intentional faith. When you say, "Holy Spirit, guard my thoughts," you protect your inner world. Thoughts influence emotions. Emotions influence behavior. Negative patterns can spread quickly, but intentional prayer creates a filter. It strengthens awareness before negativity takes control. Guarding your thoughts improves focus. It reduces overthinking. It limits anxiety. Morning prayer builds mental discipline. It creates space between impulse and action. That space allows wisdom to lead. This habit also protects relationships. When you control your thinking, you avoid assumptions. You avoid quick judgments. You choose understanding over reaction. That strengthens communication. Over time, mental discipline becomes natural. You feel lighter, more centered, more clear. Guarding your thoughts daily creates emotional freedom. When you begin with Holy Spirit, order my steps, you prioritize structure. Many people move through the day without direction. They react to notifications. They chase urgency. But intentional prayer creates focus. It reminds you that time is valuable. Ordering your steps means setting priorities wisely. It means focusing on what truly matters. Morning devotion strengthens productivity. It improves decision-making. It helps you avoid distractions that drain energy. Clarity about direction reduces stress. When you know your priorities, you move with purpose. You waste less time. You feel more accomplished. That stability builds confidence. Over time, your life becomes more organized. Your actions align with purpose. Discipline replaces chaos. 4 simple words each morning create lasting structure. Saying, Holy Spirit, calm my heart, prepares you for emotional balance. Stress is common, pressure is constant, but calm is cultivated. Morning prayer resets your emotional state before the day unfolds. Calm improves performance. It sharpens thinking. It prevents unnecessary arguments. When you begin with peace, your responses change. You become less reactive and more thoughtful. Emotional balance influences physical health. 2. Reduce stress, improves focus and energy. Daily spiritual discipline supports overall well-being. It creates harmony between mind and heart. Over time, calm becomes your default response. Others may panic. You remain steady. All because you began each day with intentional grounding. When you say, Holy Spirit, increase my wisdom, you prioritize growth over impulse. Wisdom is practical. It helps you choose wisely in relationships, finances, and career. Morning prayer invites insight before action. Wisdom often appears in small adjustments. A better choice of words, a delayed response, a careful plan. By asking daily, you strengthen discernment. You learn from mistakes faster. Spiritual maturity develops gradually. You become more thoughtful. You analyze situations clearly. You avoid repeating harmful patterns. This daily habit builds long-term success. Over time, your decisions reflect depth. People seek your advice. Your life shows balance. Wisdom begins quietly every morning. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, align my plans, you release control over outcomes. Many frustrations come from rigid expectations. Alignment brings flexibility. It allows better opportunities to emerge. Alignment reduces disappointment. You remain open to change. You adapt when circumstances shift. Morning devotion strengthens resilience. It teaches trust without passivity. This habit also improves planning. You become strategic yet adaptable. You move with confidence while staying open to adjustment. That balance creates peace. Over time, your plans become more effective. Your stress decreases. Your faith grows stronger. Alignment each morning builds steady progress. When you say, Holy Spirit, strengthen my focus, you fight distraction early. Modern life competes for attention. Notifications interrupt concentration, but focus is powerful. It increases productivity and quality. Morning prayer centers your mind. It defines priorities before chaos enters. You complete tasks with excellence. You reduce wasted energy. This spiritual discipline improves performance in every area. Focus also strengthens relationships. When you are present, you listen better. You communicate clearly. You show respect through attention. That builds trust. Over time, disciplined focus transforms results. your work improves, your confidence rises, your daily progress becomes visible, and it all begins with intentional words spoken at sunrise. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, correct me," you are choosing growth over ego. Most people defend their mistakes. They protect their pride. But correction builds maturity. A short morning prayer invites honest self-evaluation. It prepares you to receive feedback without anger. This habit strengthens character and builds emotional intelligence. Correction protects your future. Small mistakes ignored today can become major problems tomorrow. By asking for guidance early, you increase awareness. You notice attitudes that need adjustment. You recognize habits that limit progress. This daily devotion creates accountability within your own heart. Personal development requires humility. When you allow gentle correction, you become easier to work with. Your relationships improve. Your leadership strengthens. People trust those who are willing to grow. Morning prayer builds that stability. Over time, you become more refined. You respond instead of react. You adjust quickly. You grow consistently. 4 honest words each morning can reshape your entire direction. When you say, "Holy Spirit, build patience in me," you prepare for delays. Not everything moves at your speed. Traffic slows you down. People disappoint you. Plans shift unexpectedly. Patience protects your peace in those moments. A simple morning prayer strengthens your tolerance before frustration appears. Impatience damages relationships. It produces harsh words. It creates tension. But patience produces wisdom. It allows time for understanding. It improves communication. Daily spiritual discipline trains your responses. Patience also strengthens long-term goals. Success rarely happens instantly. Growth takes time. By asking for patience, you increase endurance. You stay consistent even when results are slow. Over time, calm waiting becomes natural. You feel less pressure. You handle delays with confidence. Patience becomes part of your identity because you chose to cultivate it each morning. When you begin with "Holy Spirit, protect my attitude," you guard your influence. Attitude affects everything. It shapes how you walk into rooms. It shapes how people respond to you. Morning prayer creates awareness before negative emotions spread. A healthy attitude improves performance. You handle setbacks with maturity. You approach problems with solutions. You avoid complaining. This daily devotion builds optimism rooted in faith, not denial. Protection of attitude also strengthens mental health. Negative thinking drains energy. Positive focus builds resilience. When you ask for protection early, you strengthen your emotional foundation. Over time, people notice your steady presence. You become reliable, encouraging, stable, all because you chose to guard your mindset before the day began. Saying, "Holy Spirit, increase my discipline," builds structure in your life. Motivation fades quickly, but discipline sustains progress. Morning prayer reinforces commitment before distractions start. It reminds you that growth requires effort. Discipline improves habits. You manage time better. You reduce procrastination. You focus on what matters. This daily spiritual practice aligns faith with action. It turns intention into consistency. Strong discipline affects every area. Health improves. Work quality increases. Relationships stabilize. You become dependable. This builds confidence and credibility. Over time, small daily choices create major results. Discipline becomes automatic. You act with purpose. And it all begins with 4 focused words each morning. When you say, "Holy Spirit, guide my words," you protect your communication. Words carry power. They can heal or harm. Morning prayer prepares your speech before conversations happen. It slows your tongue and sharpens your thinking. Guided words improve relationships. You listen more. You speak with care. You avoid unnecessary conflict. This daily devotion strengthens emotional intelligence and wisdom. Communication affects leadership and influence. Clear speech builds trust. Gentle responses reduce tension. Asking for guidance each morning improves your daily interactions. Over time, your conversations reflect maturity. You become known for calm responses and thoughtful advice. Your words build others instead of breaking them. When you begin with Holy Spirit, expand my understanding, you choose learning over assumption. Many conflicts come from misunderstanding. Morning prayer increases awareness before judgment forms. It prepares you to see different perspectives. Understanding strengthens relationships. You become slower to criticize, faster to listen, more willing to learn. This daily spiritual discipline reduces pride and increases wisdom. Growth requires curiosity. By asking for understanding, you improve decision-making. You consider consequences carefully. You avoid rash conclusions. Over time, your mind becomes broader. Your reactions become measured. Your influence becomes stronger. Understanding begins with intentional humility at sunrise. When you say, Holy Spirit, steady my emotions, you prepare for emotional balance. Feelings change quickly. Circumstances can shift without warning. Morning prayer builds inner stability before stress appears. Emotional steadiness improves leadership. It improves parenting. It improves teamwork. You make decisions from clarity instead of mood. This daily devotion strengthens maturity. Balanced emotions protect your health. Stress decreases. Reactions soften. Relationships improve. You create a calm environment around you. Over time, emotional control becomes natural. You feel secure, confident, centered. 4 simple words each morning anchor your inner world. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, sharpen my discernment, you increase awareness. Not every opportunity is right. Not every voice deserves attention. Morning prayer strengthens your ability to evaluate wisely. Discernment protects you from poor decisions. It helps you recognize healthy boundaries. It reduces regret. This daily spiritual habit strengthens critical thinking and faith-based wisdom. Clear discernment improves financial choices, relationship decisions, career moves. You pause before committing. You think long-term. Over time, your judgment becomes trusted. People seek your perspective. Your life reflects careful choices shaped by daily guidance. When you begin with Holy Spirit, strengthen my integrity, you focus on character over appearance. Integrity builds trust even when no one is watching. Morning prayer reminds you that consistency matters. Strong integrity improves credibility. You follow through on promises. You act honestly. You build a reliable reputation. This daily devotion shapes long-term success. Integrity also protects your peace. You do not fear exposure. You live transparently. That freedom creates confidence. Over time, your character becomes your foundation. People respect your consistency. Your influence grows naturally because integrity guides your actions. When you say, Holy Spirit, prepare me for today, you accept that challenges will come. Preparation builds confidence. Morning prayer positions your mind before pressure arrives. Preparedness improves performance. You think ahead. You anticipate obstacles. You manage time wisely. This spiritual discipline increases readiness and focus. Preparation reduces fear. When difficulty appears, you feel equipped. You respond with clarity. You avoid panic. Over time, readiness becomes your habit. You approach each day with quiet strength. 4 intentional words every morning create lasting confidence. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, help me listen, you prepare your heart for awareness. Many problems begin because people do not truly listen. They interrupt. They assume. They react too quickly. A short morning prayer builds attentiveness before conversations begin. Listening improves relationships and strengthens leadership. Careful listening reduces conflict. You understand tone. You catch details. You respond wisely. This daily devotion trains you to slow down. It replaces quick reactions with thoughtful responses. That shift improves trust in every area of life. Listening also sharpens discernment. You hear what is said and what is not said. You sense tension early. You notice opportunities others miss. Morning prayer increases this awareness steadily. Over time, people feel valued around you. They open up more. They respect your calm presence. All because you began your day by choosing to listen before speaking. When you say, "Holy Spirit, remove my fear," you confront anxiety early. Fear often grows in silence. It exaggerates problems. It weakens confidence. But a focused morning prayer challenges fear before it spreads. It strengthens courage and builds stability. Fear limits progress. It blocks opportunity. It causes hesitation. By asking for freedom from fear, you prepare to act with confidence. This daily spiritual practice builds resilience in uncertain situations. Courage grows when fear shrinks. You take necessary steps. You speak when needed. You move forward with wisdom. Morning devotion strengthens your ability to handle pressure calmly. Over time, confidence becomes steady. You approach challenges without panic. You trust your preparation. Freedom from fear begins with 4 simple words spoken at sunrise. When you begin with "Holy Spirit, cleanse my motives," you focus on honesty within yourself. Motives shape behavior. If your intentions are selfish, your actions will reflect it. Morning prayer invites self-examination before the day unfolds. Pure motives strengthen credibility. People sense authenticity. They trust consistent character. This daily devotion encourages humility and integrity in every decision. Examining motives prevents regret. You pause before acting. You consider your reasons. You align your goals with higher values. That alignment produces peace. Over time, your intentions become clearer. Your decisions become more sincere. Your influence becomes stronger because it is built on honesty. When you say, "Holy Spirit, grow my compassion," you prepare to treat others with care. Life can make people harsh. Stress can harden hearts. But compassion softens your response. A short morning prayer builds empathy before interactions begin. Compassion improves relationships. You become more patient, more understanding, less judgmental. This daily spiritual discipline strengthens emotional intelligence and maturity. Compassion also reduces anger. When you see struggles behind behavior, you react with wisdom. You offer support instead of criticism. That creates healthier connections. Over time, kindness becomes natural. People feel safe around you. Your presence becomes encouraging because you choose compassion each morning. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, give me clarity," you fight confusion early. Unclear thinking leads to poor choices. Morning prayer organizes your priorities before distractions appear. Clarity improves productivity. You know what matters most. You avoid unnecessary tasks. You focus on meaningful goals. This daily devotion strengthens concentration and direction. Clear thinking reduces stress. You stop overanalyzing. You trust wise decisions. You move forward with confidence instead of hesitation. Over time, clarity becomes your strength. You handle complexity calmly. You make decisions faster and better. It all begins with intentional focus at the start of the day. When you begin with "Holy Spirit, increase my gratitude," you shift your perspective. Gratitude changes how you see life. It reduces comparison. It builds contentment. Morning prayer reminds you of what is already working in your favor. Gratitude improves mental health. It lowers frustration. It increases joy. This daily spiritual habit builds emotional resilience and positive thinking. Thankfulness strengthens relationships. You appreciate people more. You express recognition. You create a supportive environment around you. Over time, gratitude reshapes your mindset. You notice blessings instead of problems. You carry peace throughout the day because you began with appreciation. When you say, Holy Spirit, refine my reactions, you prepare for unexpected moments. Reactions reveal character. Morning prayer strengthens self-control before challenges test you. Refined reactions prevent damage. You pause before responding. You measure your tone. You choose maturity over impulse. This daily devotion builds emotional discipline. Improved reactions protect opportunities. One careless moment can cost progress, but thoughtful responses build respect. That stability strengthens influence. Over time, calm responses become automatic. You handle conflict with balance. You build a reputation for steadiness and wisdom. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, increase my focus on purpose, you align your day with long-term goals. Purpose gives direction. Without it, distractions win. Morning prayer reinforces your priorities. Purpose-driven living improves productivity. You eliminate wasted effort. You commit to meaningful actions. This daily spiritual practice strengthens consistency. Purpose also builds motivation. When you remember why you work, you persist through difficulty. You stay committed even when results are slow. Over time, your life gains direction. Your actions reflect intention. Your progress becomes steady because you began each morning with clarity about purpose. When you begin with Holy Spirit, strengthen my resilience. You prepare for setbacks. Challenges are part of growth. Morning prayer builds endurance before difficulty appears. Resilience improves recovery. You bounce back faster. You learn from mistakes. You adjust without quitting. This daily devotion builds mental and emotional strength. Strong resilience protects confidence. Failure does not define you. It teaches you that mindset creates long-term success. Over time, pressure becomes training instead of threat. You grow stronger through obstacles because you prepared your heart at sunrise. When you say, Holy Spirit, align my attitude with peace, you choose calm over chaos. Attitude shapes every experience. Morning prayer establishes stability before noise begins. Peaceful attitude improves leadership. It strengthens teamwork. It creates safe environments. This daily spiritual discipline enhances emotional balance. A calm mindset improves physical energy. Stress decreases. Focus increases. You move through the day with steady confidence. Over time, peace becomes your foundation. Others feel comfort in your presence. Your stability influences every space you enter. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, guide my decisions, you protect your future before choices appear. Every day is filled with small decisions that shape larger outcomes. What you say, where you go, how you respond. Morning prayer builds awareness before pressure influences you. It creates space between impulse and action. Wise decisions improve every area of life. They strengthen finances. They protect relationships. They build credibility. This daily devotion sharpens judgment and reduces regret. You begin to evaluate options more carefully. Guided decisions also reduce stress. You no longer rush into commitments blindly. You pause. You reflect. You act with confidence. That stability increases productivity and peace. Over time, consistent guidance produces better results. You notice fewer unnecessary mistakes. You grow in maturity, all because you chose to invite direction before the day began. When you say, Holy Spirit, discipline my schedule, you take control of your time. Many people feel overwhelmed because they do not manage their hours wisely. Morning prayer brings structure before distractions start. It reminds you that time is valuable. A disciplined schedule improves productivity. You focus on priorities. You reduce procrastination. You complete tasks with excellence. This daily spiritual practice strengthens consistency. Good time management reduces anxiety. When your day has structure, your mind feels calmer. You move intentionally instead of reacting to urgency. That shift builds confidence. Over time, your schedule reflects balance. You create space for growth, rest, and relationships. Discipline becomes natural because you committed to it each morning. When you begin with Holy Spirit, strengthen my confidence, you prepare for opportunities. Lack of confidence limits potential. It keeps people silent when they should speak. Morning prayer builds assurance before challenges appear. Confidence improves communication. You express ideas clearly. You stand firm in your values. You handle criticism without collapsing. This daily devotion strengthens emotional resilience. Healthy confidence also increases productivity. You stop doubting every decision. You trust your preparation. You act with purpose instead of hesitation. Over time, boldness becomes steady. You walk into rooms with calm assurance. Your presence carries quiet strength because you began your day with intention. When you say, Holy Spirit, help me forgive, you release hidden burdens. Unforgiveness drains energy. It fuels anger. It damages peace. Morning prayer softens your heart before resentment grows. Forgiveness improves mental health. It reduces stress. It frees your thoughts from replaying past hurt. This daily spiritual discipline strengthens emotional healing. Forgiveness also restores relationships when possible. It creates space for healthy boundaries and honest communication. You respond with maturity instead of revenge. Over time, your heart becomes lighter. You carry less bitterness. You move forward with clarity because you chose freedom at sunrise. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, correct my priorities, you examine what truly matters. Distractions often appear urgent but are not important. Morning prayer clarifies focus before the day fills with noise. Clear priorities improve productivity. You invest energy wisely. You stop chasing unnecessary approval. This daily devotion aligns your actions with long-term goals. Right priorities strengthen relationships. You give attention where it is needed. You balance work and personal life with intention. That creates stability. Over time, your life reflects purpose instead of chaos. You accomplish meaningful goals because you chose alignment each morning. When you begin with Holy Spirit, increase my self-control, you protect your future. Lack of control damages progress. It harms finances, health, and relationships. Morning prayer builds discipline before temptation appears. Self-control improves decision-making. You pause before speaking. You think before spending. You evaluate before acting. This daily spiritual habit strengthens maturity. Strong self-control builds credibility. People trust consistent behavior. They rely on stable character. That trust opens doors. Over time, discipline becomes automatic. You manage impulses wisely. You live intentionally because you prepared your heart at the start of each day. When you say, Holy Spirit, improve my consistency, you focus on steady growth. Many people start strong, but fade quickly. Morning prayer reinforces commitment before distractions weaken effort. Consistency builds results. Small actions repeated daily create progress. This daily devotion strengthens habits that support long-term success. Consistent effort improves confidence. You see measurable change. You trust your process. That stability reduces frustration. Over time, your growth becomes visible. You no longer depend on motivation alone. You rely on discipline shaped by daily intention. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, sharpen my focus on truth, you guard against confusion. Misinformation and opinions surround you. Morning prayer builds clarity before voices compete for attention. Truth-centered thinking improves decisions. You evaluate facts carefully. You avoid being influenced by pressure. This daily spiritual discipline strengthens wisdom. Clear thinking reduces emotional reactions. You respond from understanding instead of assumption. That balance builds trust and respect. Over time, your perspective becomes grounded. You remain steady in uncertain moments because you built your foundation each morning. When you begin with Holy Spirit, strengthen my gratitude for today. You appreciate the present moment. Many people rush toward tomorrow and miss today's opportunities. Morning prayer centers your focus on what is available now. Gratitude improves happiness and mental health. It shifts attention from lack to provision. This daily devotion builds positive thinking and emotional stability. Appreciation also strengthens relationships. You express thankfulness. You acknowledge support. You create an atmosphere of encouragement. Over time, contentment becomes natural. You enjoy progress without constant dissatisfaction. Your joy grows because you began with appreciation. When you say, Holy Spirit, prepare my heart for service, you shift from self-centered thinking to contribution. Service builds purpose. Morning prayer reminds you that your life impacts others. Serving others strengthens relationships. It builds teamwork. It creates unity. This daily spiritual habit increases empathy and generosity. Service also improves fulfillment. Helping others brings meaning beyond personal gain. You feel connected to something larger than yourself. Over time, service becomes part of your identity. You look for ways to add value. You influence lives positively because you chose that mindset at sunrise. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, strengthen my endurance, you prepare for long days. Not every day is exciting. Some require steady effort. Morning prayer builds stamina before fatigue sets in. It reminds you that perseverance produces results. Endurance improves work quality. You finish what you start. You stay committed when tasks feel repetitive. This daily devotion builds resilience that supports long-term goals. Strong endurance protects your confidence. Temporary setbacks no longer discourage you easily. You understand that growth takes time and effort. Over time, persistence becomes your advantage. Others may quit early. You remain steady, all because you asked for strength before the day began. When you say, Holy Spirit, protect my peace at work, you guard your mindset in professional spaces. Work pressure can drain energy quickly. Morning prayer prepares you for meetings, deadlines, and unexpected demands. Protected peace improves performance. You think clearly under stress. You communicate calmly. You solve problems effectively. This daily spiritual discipline strengthens workplace confidence. Peace at work also improves relationships with colleagues. You avoid unnecessary tension. You respond respectfully even in disagreement. Over time, you become known for stability. Your calm presence builds trust. You thrive professionally because you prepared your heart early. When you begin with Holy Spirit, teach me humility. You build strong character. Pride blocks growth. It resists correction. Morning prayer softens your perspective before challenges test you. Humility improves leadership. You listen to feedback. You admit mistakes. You value teamwork. This daily devotion builds respect naturally. A humble mindset strengthens relationships. People feel safe around someone who does not compete for attention. You create space for collaboration. Over time, humility becomes strength. Your influence grows because it is grounded in authenticity rather than ego. When you say, Holy Spirit, strengthen my family relationships, you prioritize connection. Family dynamics can be complex. Morning prayer prepares you to respond with patience and understanding. Strong family relationships build emotional security. They create support systems during stress. This daily spiritual practice reinforces communication and care. Intentional focus on family reduces regret. You become present. You listen more carefully. You respond with maturity instead of frustration. Over time, trust within your family deepens. Bonds grow stronger because you chose to nurture them each morning. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, sharpen my financial wisdom, you invite practical guidance. Financial decisions affect long-term stability. Morning prayer builds discipline before spending choices arise. Financial wisdom improves budgeting. It reduces impulsive decisions. It increases saving and planning. This daily devotion strengthens responsibility. Wise financial habits reduce anxiety. When you manage resources carefully, stress decreases. You feel more secure about the future. Over time, stability grows. Your confidence increases because your decisions reflect careful thought and discipline. When you begin with Holy Spirit, improve my leadership, you focus on influence. Leadership is not about control. It is about responsibility. Morning prayer prepares you to guide others with integrity. Effective leadership improves communication. You inspire instead of intimidate. You build trust through consistency. This daily spiritual habit strengthens credibility. Leadership also requires emotional stability. When you manage stress well, others feel secure. You create environments of clarity and respect. Over time, your influence expands. People follow your example because you lead with wisdom shaped each morning. When you say, Holy Spirit, increase my awareness, you sharpen perception. Awareness helps you notice opportunities and risks early. Morning prayer strengthens focus before distractions multiply. Greater awareness improves decision-making. You evaluate details carefully. You avoid careless errors. This daily devotion builds thoughtful habits. Awareness also strengthens relationships. You notice changes in tone. You sense tension before it escalates. That insight protects unity. Over time, you become more observant and strategic. Your awareness becomes an advantage in every environment. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, guide my ambitions, you align goals with purpose. Ambition without direction can become selfish. Morning prayer shapes your drive before competition influences you. Guided ambition improves long-term planning. You pursue meaningful success. You avoid shortcuts that damage integrity. This daily spiritual discipline strengthens balance. Healthy ambition also builds resilience. You remain focused on growth rather than comparison. You measure progress wisely. Over time, your achievements reflect character and purpose. Success becomes sustainable because it is grounded in daily alignment. When you begin with Holy Spirit, strengthen my mental resilience, you protect your mind from discouragement. Mental fatigue can affect performance and relationships. Morning prayer builds inner strength before challenges appear. Mental resilience improves focus. You recover from setbacks quickly. You maintain motivation under pressure. This daily devotion strengthens emotional stability. Strong resilience reduces negative self-talk. You replace doubt with constructive thinking. That mindset improves productivity and confidence. Over time, your thoughts become more disciplined. You approach difficulty with clarity because you prepared your mind each morning. When you say, Holy Spirit, help me manage conflict wisely, you prepare for disagreement. Conflict is part of life. Morning prayer strengthens maturity before tension arises. Wise conflict management improves relationships. You listen before responding. You choose respectful language. This daily spiritual practice builds emotional intelligence. Managing conflict calmly protects opportunities. It prevents small disagreements from becoming major problems. You create solutions instead of division. Over time, people trust you in difficult situations. You become a stabilizing presence because you chose wisdom at sunrise. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, guide my creativity, you open your mind to new ideas. Many people feel stuck because their thoughts repeat the same patterns. Morning prayer invites fresh thinking before the day's noise arrives. It allows inspiration to flow naturally without pressure. Creative guidance improves problem solving. You see solutions where others see obstacles. You find new ways to approach work, relationships, or personal projects. This daily devotion builds flexibility and originality in thinking. Creativity also strengthens confidence. When your ideas flow, you trust your instincts more. You take calculated risks and innovate naturally. Morning discipline primes this growth. Over time, your creative output increases. You solve problems efficiently. Your work becomes unique, all because you began your day by asking for insight and inspiration. When you say, "Holy Spirit, calm my fears about the future," you prepare your mind for uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and worry often steals your energy before your day even begins. Morning prayer redirects your attention from anxiety to trust and clarity. Calming fear improves focus. You stop overthinking potential problems. You make decisions from peace rather than panic. This daily spiritual practice strengthens mental stability and practical planning. Fear often distorts perspective. By addressing it early, you avoid unnecessary stress. You approach opportunities with courage and calculated judgment. Over time, confidence becomes natural. You approach challenges with calm determination. Your ability to adapt grows because you started each day with intention. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, strengthen my communication skills," you prepare for meaningful connection. Many misunderstandings happen simply because people do not express themselves clearly. Morning prayer primes your heart to listen, speak thoughtfully, and respond with clarity. Improved communication strengthens relationships. You resolve conflicts faster. You connect more deeply with family, friends, and colleagues. This daily devotion improves emotional intelligence and leadership. Clear communication also increases influence. Others trust your words because they come from a place of calm and awareness. You respond rather than react impulsively. Over time, your conversations become impactful. People notice your clarity and thoughtfulness, all because you chose to start each morning by inviting guidance. When you say, "Holy Spirit, protect my thoughts from negativity," you create mental space before outside influences take over. Social media, news, and conversations can shape your mindset if you do not act intentionally. Morning prayer filters what you allow into your mind. Positive thought patterns improve focus. You notice opportunities faster. You approach challenges with optimism instead of doubt. This daily spiritual practice builds resilience and emotional stability. Guarding your mind also improves decision-making. You respond from wisdom rather than reacting to fear or gossip. That strengthens relationships and performance. Over time, you develop natural optimism. Stress no longer dominates your mindset. Your focus and clarity grow because you cultivated mental protection every morning. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, help me make wise connections," you prepare to influence your network positively. Every interaction matters. People notice who you are before words are spoken. Morning prayer strengthens discernment, so you associate with constructive energy. Wise connections improve collaboration. You attract support and mentorship. You avoid distractions and toxic relationships. This daily devotion strengthens long-term personal and professional growth. Intentional networking also increases opportunity. The right partnerships appear when your mindset is clear. You notice patterns that lead to growth. Over time, your relationships reflect purpose. You attract people who encourage and challenge you positively, all because you asked for guidance before the day started. When you say, "Holy Spirit, inspire my problem solving," you prepare for unexpected challenges. Life rarely follows a perfect plan. Morning prayer primes your mind to approach obstacles creatively and calmly. Effective problem solving improves performance. You find efficient solutions. You act decisively instead of hesitating. This daily spiritual habit strengthens confidence and adaptability. Preparedness also builds trust. Others notice your ability to stay composed under pressure. You model patience and intelligence through action. Over time, Problem solving becomes natural. Challenges become opportunities for growth. You approach life with practical wisdom because you begin each day with intention. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, increase my patience with others, you prepare for difficult interactions. People act unpredictably, and situations test temper easily. Morning prayer strengthens your tolerance before friction appears. Patience improves relationships. You respond calmly. You avoid conflicts that damage trust. This daily devotion strengthens emotional intelligence and communication. Patience also improves your decision-making. You think before reacting. You weigh consequences carefully. That protects progress and influence. Over time, patience becomes a habit. Others rely on your steadiness. Your calm presence becomes a source of trust and stability. When you say, Holy Spirit, sharpen my awareness of opportunities, you position yourself to notice what others overlook. Many possibilities pass unnoticed when your mind is distracted. Morning prayer strengthens focus before external noise arrives. Awareness improves timing. You take action when it matters. You make strategic decisions that create long-term benefits. This daily devotion cultivates practical insight and preparation. Opportunities also improve your confidence. You see paths forward that others miss. You act with clarity and courage. Over time, noticing opportunities becomes second nature. Your life feels purposeful. You achieve consistent progress because you started each morning intentionally. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, help me lead by example, you cultivate influence through actions. Leadership is less about titles and more about consistency and integrity. Morning prayer reinforces intentional behavior. Leading by example improves credibility. People follow action more than words. Your consistency creates respect. This daily devotion strengthens authority and trust. Example-based leadership also impacts relationships. You inspire cooperation and collaboration naturally. Others respond to steadiness and reliability. Over time, your influence grows quietly. You lead without needing to push or demand, all because you began each day with mindful intention. When you say, Holy Spirit, help me stay focused on solutions, not problems, you create a proactive mindset. Many get stuck analyzing issues without acting. Morning prayer shifts perspective toward action and productivity. Solution-focused thinking increases efficiency. You make decisions faster. You handle challenges calmly. This daily devotion builds confidence and practical problem-solving skills. Focus on solutions also improves influence. People rely on those who act decisively instead of complaining. That trust strengthens relationships and credibility. Over time, your mindset becomes action-oriented. Challenges no longer feel overwhelming. Progress becomes consistent because you began each morning seeking clarity. When you wake up and say, Holy Spirit, help me stay disciplined in my habits, you prepare for success before distractions appear. Life is full of temptations that derail progress. Morning prayer builds consistency, reinforcing the choices that shape long-term results. Discipline is not about harsh rules. It is about creating structure that allows focus and growth. Daily habits affect every area of life. Health, productivity, and relationships improve when routines are intentional. By asking for discipline early, you make decisions that reflect your values rather than reacting to convenience or laziness. Strong habits protect your time. You stop wasting energy on unproductive actions and invest in tasks that truly matter. This strengthens focus, energy, and self-confidence, making you more effective every day. Over time, disciplined routines produce lasting transformation. You move from scattered effort to intentional progress, creating momentum that compounds silently because of a simple morning prayer. When you say, Holy Spirit, sharpen my discernment in conversations, you prepare to respond wisely. Words carry power, and misunderstandings often arise from quick reactions. Morning prayer trains your mind to recognize truth, tone, and intent before responding. Clear discernment improves communication. You avoid conflicts, build trust, and respond with clarity. This daily devotion strengthens relationships personally and professionally, giving you the ability to influence without manipulation. Discernment also protects from harmful influences. You recognize advice or guidance that may not serve your goals and make decisions aligned with purpose. That awareness safeguards growth and credibility. Over time, you naturally filter conversations with wisdom. You avoid unnecessary drama and focus on meaningful dialogue because you began each day intentionally asking for insight. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, increase my courage to face challenges," you prepare to act confidently. Life constantly tests limits, and fear often slows progress. Morning prayer strengthens your inner resolve, enabling you to approach challenges calmly. Courage allows you to make decisions even when outcomes are uncertain. It encourages persistence in the face of obstacles. This daily devotion develops resilience, turning pressure into a stepping stone rather than a barrier. Bravery also improves relationships. People respect those who confront difficulties instead of avoiding responsibility. You inspire others through calm, confident action. Over time, courage becomes a habit. Challenges feel manageable. You take risks that create growth because you trained your mindset first thing each morning. When you say, "Holy Spirit, help me prioritize what truly matters," you create focus before distractions fill your day. Life is full of urgent but unimportant tasks. Morning prayer helps you identify priorities that align with your purpose and long-term goals. Focused priorities improve efficiency. You spend time on high-impact activities, not trivial ones. Your energy and attention are preserved, and outcomes improve naturally. Prioritization also reduces stress. Knowing what matters most allows calm decisions instead of scattered effort. You approach tasks with clarity instead of overwhelm. Over time, daily focus produces consistent results. You accomplish meaningful goals and life feels aligned because each morning starts with intentional direction. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, increase my clarity in thought," you prepare your mind for success. Confusion wastes energy, slows decision-making, and creates unnecessary stress. Morning prayer organizes thinking before external pressures arrive. Clarity improves problem-solving. You identify solutions faster, make confident choices, and avoid overthinking. This daily habit strengthens practical intelligence and emotional balance. Mental clarity also improves communication. You express ideas effectively, reducing misunderstandings. Relationships and work benefit from intentional thought and insight. Over time, your decisions become sharper, outcomes improve, and you naturally respond with calm wisdom because you trained your mind each morning. When you say, "Holy Spirit, cultivate patience in my daily interactions," you prepare for people and situations that test your calm. Life does not always move at your pace. Morning prayer strengthens tolerance before friction arises. Patience improves relationships. You respond with thoughtfulness instead of irritation. You handle disagreements carefully and avoid unnecessary conflict. Daily practice reinforces emotional control. Patience also enhances problem solving. You wait for the right time to act instead of rushing impulsively. This creates better outcomes and long-term stability. Over time, patience becomes automatic. You move through life with calm, consistent energy, and people notice your composed presence because you began your day intentionally. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, strengthen my focus on opportunities," you train your mind to notice what others overlook. Many possibilities are missed when the mind is scattered. Morning prayer increases awareness, enabling you to act decisively. Opportunity-focused thinking improves results. You identify trends, act strategically, and create advantages. This daily habit strengthens personal growth and practical insight. Attention to opportunities also improves confidence. You act on potential without hesitation, trusting your preparation and awareness. Over time, your life becomes abundant in progress. You consistently recognize possibilities others miss because you trained your focus at the start of each day. When you say, "Holy Spirit, guide my mindset toward positivity," you protect your perspective before external stress affects you. Negative input can drain energy quickly. Morning prayer sets a tone of optimism and clarity for the entire day. Positive thinking improves resilience. You handle challenges calmly and focus on solutions rather than problems. Daily practice reinforces constructive habits and emotional strength. Optimism also strengthens influence. People naturally respond better to those who radiate calm and assurance. Your energy becomes a stabilizing force in every environment. Over time, positivity becomes default. Your outlook affects your actions and relationships because you chose to start the day with intention. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, prepare me to lead by example," you embrace responsibility before actions unfold. True leadership reflects consistent choices, not titles or words. Morning prayer reinforces integrity and purposeful behavior. Leading by example improves influence. People respect reliability and maturity. Your actions silently guide those around you, building trust and credibility. Example-based leadership also shapes teams and relationships positively. Others follow your calm, consistent approach, creating harmony and efficiency. Over time, your influence grows naturally. You inspire change quietly and effectively because you began each morning asking for guidance. When you say, "Holy Spirit, strengthen my problem-solving skills," you prepare for challenges before they arrive. Life often presents obstacles unexpectedly. Morning prayer primes your mind to analyze situations calmly and create practical solutions. Effective problem-solving increases efficiency. You take decisive action, reduce stress, and turn obstacles into growth opportunities. Daily practice reinforces resilience and confidence. Strong problem-solving also strengthens relationships. You can mediate challenges with insight, preventing unnecessary conflict. Over time, challenges become manageable. Solutions appear naturally, and your life reflects steady progress because each day began with intentional guidance. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, strengthen my resilience in adversity," you prepare to handle life's unexpected challenges. Setbacks can feel overwhelming when your mind is unprepared. Morning prayer builds mental and emotional strength, allowing you to respond with patience and clarity rather than panic. Resilience improves decision-making. You recover faster from mistakes and adapt strategies to achieve goals. This daily habit creates stability in both personal and professional areas, ensuring progress even when circumstances are difficult. Strong resilience also protects confidence. Instead of being discouraged, you see obstacles as temporary and solvable. You maintain focus and composure under pressure. Over time, resilience becomes a natural trait. Challenges no longer control your mood or productivity because you conditioned your mindset each morning with intentional guidance. When you say, "Holy Spirit, help me recognize opportunities in disguise," you prepare to see possibilities that others overlook. Many situations that seem like setbacks hide potential. Morning prayer sharpens awareness and encourages a proactive mindset. Opportunity-focused thinking improves creativity and strategy. You identify paths that lead to growth, make informed decisions, and leverage resources effectively. This daily devotion strengthens both insight and confidence. Recognizing hidden opportunities also builds patience. You wait for the right moment to act, avoiding rushed decisions. That balance reduces mistakes and strengthens outcomes. Over time, you naturally spot potential where others see obstacles. Progress becomes consistent because your mind is trained to see advantage and growth before the day even starts. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, guide my actions with purpose," you ensure every choice aligns with your long-term goals. Without direction, energy is wasted on distractions. Morning prayer strengthens intentionality and sets your focus on meaningful outcomes. Purpose-driven actions improve productivity. You invest time wisely, prioritize important tasks, and avoid activities that drain energy. This daily habit builds momentum towards success and personal growth. Acting with purpose also strengthens influence. Others notice reliability and clear decision-making, creating trust and respect. Your consistency becomes a silent demonstration of leadership. Over time, your life reflects deliberate progress. You accomplish goals effectively because you began each day with clarity and intentional action. When you say, "Holy Spirit, strengthen my focus in challenging moments," you prepare to maintain clarity when pressure arises. Many people allow stress to cloud judgment, leading to mistakes. Morning prayer trains the mind to stay composed and attentive. Focused thinking improves problem solving. You analyze situations accurately, respond with confidence, and make decisions that produce better results. This daily habit strengthens both efficiency and emotional balance. Focus also improves resilience. You stay grounded when distractions appear and maintain momentum toward priorities. That calm energy positively influences relationships and work performance. Over time, your ability to concentrate under stress becomes natural. Productivity and stability increase because you conditioned your mind before the day began. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, inspire my perseverance," you prepare to continue even when progress feels slow. Many give up prematurely, missing opportunities that require consistent effort. Morning prayer reinforces determination before challenges appear. Perseverance strengthens skill development. Consistent effort produces mastery and builds confidence in your abilities. This daily habit cultivates patience and long-term growth. Perseverance also improves mindset. You learn to view setbacks as learning opportunities rather than failures. This mindset encourages adaptability and creativity under pressure. Over time, perseverance becomes automatic. You approach each task with steady commitment, achieving results that reflect consistent effort and intentional discipline. When you say, "Holy Spirit, protect my mental clarity from distractions," you guard focus before the day becomes chaotic. Distractions can derail even the best plans. Morning prayer prepares the mind to remain attentive and effective. Mental clarity improves decision-making. You think critically, respond calmly, and avoid impulsive reactions. This daily practice strengthens problem-solving skills and personal productivity. Clarity also enhances relationships. You communicate with precision, listen actively, and navigate conflict thoughtfully. That reduces misunderstandings and improves trust. Over time, your mental focus becomes second nature. You achieve goals efficiently and navigate challenges gracefully because you built clarity intentionally each morning. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, grow my awareness of the bigger picture," you prepare to see beyond immediate concerns. Many people get lost in minor problems, missing strategic insights. Morning prayer enhances perspective and decision-making. Big picture thinking improves planning. You anticipate challenges, identify trends, and make choices that align with long-term goals. This daily devotion strengthens wisdom and foresight. Awareness also reduces unnecessary stress. You understand what is truly urgent and what can wait, making calmer decisions and prioritizing effectively. Over time, your life reflects strategic focus. Progress is consistent, and you act with confidence because you began each day seeing beyond immediate distractions. When you say, "Holy Spirit, increase my patience with slow progress," you prepare to persist when results take time. Many people feel frustrated when change is gradual. Morning prayer builds endurance and perspective before impatience arises. Patience strengthens problem solving. You approach obstacles calmly, break challenges into manageable steps, and sustain effort over time. This daily practice fosters long-term growth and resilience. Patience also improves relationships. You remain supportive and understanding when others move at different paces, fostering trust and harmony. Over time, patience becomes a natural response. You achieve results steadily and consistently because you trained yourself to embrace progress at its own pace. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, help me act with integrity today," you ensure your actions match your values. Many people compromise principles under pressure. Morning prayer reinforces honesty and ethical decision-making. Integrity builds credibility. People trust consistent and transparent behavior, which strengthens relationships, professional reputation, and personal confidence. This daily practice ensures reliability and authenticity. Acting with integrity also reduces regret. You make decisions from a place of clarity and moral alignment rather than impulse, protecting your long-term success and emotional balance. Over time, integrity becomes automatic. Your choices reflect consistency and trustworthiness because you began each morning intentionally asking for guidance. When you say, "Holy Spirit, strengthen my focus on solutions instead of problems," you prepare to think constructively. Many people get trapped in complaining or worrying. Morning prayer shifts attention toward action, empowering practical results. Solution-oriented thinking improves efficiency. You prioritize fixes over complaints, make decisive choices, and reduce wasted energy. This daily habit builds mental discipline and clarity. Focus on solutions also improves influence. Others respect and follow people who act decisively, rather than dwelling on obstacles or negativity. Over time, problem solving becomes instinctive. Challenges become manageable opportunities because you trained your mind to seek answers first thing every morning. When you wake up and say, "Holy Spirit, help me embrace every moment fully," you prepare to live intentionally. Many people move through life distracted, missing opportunities to grow, connect, or experience joy. Morning prayer trains your awareness, allowing you to notice details that might otherwise go unnoticed. Embracing each moment improves focus. You participate fully in conversations, work, and personal experiences. This daily habit encourages mindfulness and reduces wasted energy on past regrets or future worries. Living intentionally also strengthens emotional resilience. You respond with presence instead of reacting automatically, creating calm, thoughtful interactions with people and situations. Over time, awareness becomes natural. Each day feels meaningful, purposeful, and productive because you conditioned your mindset first thing in the morning. When you say, "Holy Spirit, help me trust the process of life," you prepare to let go of unnecessary control. Many people feel anxious because they try to force outcomes. Morning prayer encourages patience and faith, allowing natural growth and progress to unfold. Trusting the process improves mental clarity. You stop overthinking results and focus on actions that matter. This daily habit strengthens confidence, reduces stress, and improves consistency in work and personal goals. Trust also builds emotional balance. You learn to navigate uncertainty calmly, making decisions from awareness rather than fear. Relationships and opportunities improve naturally. Over time, trusting the journey becomes second nature. You move through life with calm, steady momentum, creating progress and success without forcing or rushing. Starting your day with these 4 powerful words, spoken intentionally each morning, transforms your life from the inside out. Each prayer strengthens focus, discipline, resilience, and clarity, while shaping your mindset to see opportunities, act with integrity, and embrace growth. Life becomes calmer, more productive, and filled with purpose when you train your mind and heart before the day begins. Your influence, relationships, and personal growth improve naturally. Challenges become manageable. Progress feels consistent, and peace becomes your default state. By committing to this daily practice, you align yourself with intentional living, creating results that compound silently yet powerfully over time. Remember, small moments of focus each morning create massive change. Speak these words, trust the guidance, and step into each day with clarity, courage, and purpose. Your life will transform quietly but profoundly, one morning at a time.